Ameera, honestly, what do you think of OneGov?
Feels like a dream come true, to be honest. I was very excited, to be honest. I was delighted.
So, Ebuhuri, Rashuga, me Varad Doswij Ambuga hele. It's 96 years old, me haru. Me Ambugas protect koranki hinattam hadanji.
I've been asking that question to myself also.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another episode of oneGov Insights. oneGov ki divi sarukaruge hidumeta rayutuna hamea faseha kama avaskamaiki ettanakon genesi namugotum farma korefawa digital platform me mewagotu oneGov ga high agency ege
6 agencies and over 100 services.
over 100 services liben honan the miyaduge episode ga oneGov Insights ki oneGov behe malumat rayutuna hame genesi namugotum mikolon create kura podcast series the miyaduge series ga episode ga we have Korean Atanaga
OneGov on board wa ane EPA agency.
Yes, EPA is coming to OneGov, so we're very excited about that. And we have Ameera, an environment consultant.
Analyst.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It could happen.
EPA environment analyst Ameera is coming to join the conversation and tell us about her journey and also about EPA coming to OneGov. And before we start, so why don't you give us a little introduction about yourself?
All right. I've always been very passionate about environment. Hama school daurs waraves wara boda thing and I'm a huge believer in giving back to the community also and preserving the natural beauty of our country in general thing. I got enrolled after my schooling MNU ge Bachelor's of Environmental Management course. Furihama Kurma Faho EPA joined Korea as an environment analyst. Prior to that, EPA ge internship was Furihama Korean then Maldives Resilient Reefs Project Akiga resource use survey la motolga base wagen horagen was conduct Korean. So I'm also affiliated local NGOs Akiga then community development masake kurumga wes for the waraka active kon masake kura.
So you were always passionate about the environment, so that's why you chose to work in
EPA.
EPA. That's nice.
So you've been with EPA for about like miharu deharu vedana. No,
2 years wang andani me February ga.
Oh, okay. So ane me aslu EPA ge miharu mandate abehegatam kodako.
EPA ge mandate ki Environmental Protection and Preservation Act nata dive rajya ge timave shirakkatir kodem hettuma be ganunu ge tanfizi ge dara. So e ganunu ge dashon hed fururiha gavatake ane tanfiz kuruma regulate kuruma ge masake kurum annani EPA ge dashon.
Then ethiga environment analyst perspective akun ane what do you do ekka enforce ko?
Yeah, tell us about your role as an environment analyst.
E argumasge kurani environment research and conservation section ga EPA ge then me section ga research involve wane then timavetta behe research then monitoring ge masakata then ane me huddata then je huddata ane do kuruma e tima ane tobi gotu ganota gudreti gutun himayek kuffawa diruntaka ane sarhaddu taka guligen do kuranche he huddata do kuruma then ane hanne he bodana ma dive rajyege me timavashe gotu nazuk sarhaddu denegane ane me list kuruma then basically ane bodana ma me
Varabayaru research
yes and diruntoge sinda fatanota let's say biodiversity ge gulung hori varabayaru masaketta kurane.
So all of that comes under EPA ke mandate and as well as your role as well.
Yes, ERC ge masaketta ge terevis fall wakantata be.
So me how like when they kick a bing hikan like airport tangalang or like to do those kind of things you guys do research and give approval and then they're able to do it? Oh.
Well, basically timavetta ane badalen astane for the masakke kurennamun ane me hudda hodan jehene then ane egota ane waki gotaka me haru consultations taka ane scope me huriache kandala terms of reference ke dashum ane proponent anota mi emasekke ge project hawala farata ko project kuri again dane de alugon menge ERC ge point of viewing ane balakam gawannamun ane alugon men mi misalaka ಗೆಲ್ಲುಂ ತಿಮಾವಿಟ್ಟ ಲಿಬೆಣಿಕಿ ಹಾವರೆಗೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲು ಮೆತ್ತೋ ನುಣೀಮ alternative suggest ಕೊರಣ್ಣಾಮು ಗೊತ್ತ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕುರುಮ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಇನ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ತವಗ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡು ಮೆಂಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ is technical staff we provide them and then and ekala masakke takoriya dani then we don't conduct the research for that particular purpose but we do visit for inspections
Okay.
and ekantattan ekura mundani kanda elifawa terms taka eggwa gutge matinto egota is ane me monitoring that
Edani hamarangalu mingandu kedashantala.
yes
I think then Raja Kahala, I think we have a very vulnerable environment.
Yeah,
So
especially
EPA Kahala, I feel like it's a regulating body of sorts, though, just to
Yes.
make sure that everything that happens around us is good for our environment and its ecosystem.
කොම්මේ ස්වරග ලෙක් එබජිහෙද කොස්ට් බෙනෆිට් ඇනලිසිස් එකෙන් හදාලා ෆයිති කිය
ವಿಫುದವರಕ ಮೀ ರಾಜ್ಯಗೆ ಮೀ ಇನ್ನಣಿ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟ್ ವೆಫ ಬೊಡ ಇಕಾನಮಿಕ್ ಮೀ
Yeah.
ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಕ ಬೊಡ
Growth.
ದೆನ್ ತರಗೀಗವೆಸ್ ಮೀ ಇನ್ನಣಿ ವರ ಬೊಡ ಮೀ ಇಕಾನಮಿಕ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಮೀ ಅನೆ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಕುರೈಫ ಎಗೊತ್ತ ವಿಸ್ನಾಫ ಬಟ್ what we are encourage is sustainable development
yeah
to coexist with the nature, with the environment. Ei algon meng aslo and that's the message that we want to put out
I
there.
think that's two things that butt heads a lot. Like economic growth, me annani kommasarakang environment compromise koreviganne to build bridges or I don't
for a
know all of
delicate
that.
balancing aslu etan strike kuram vijani so like from my understanding ane EPA was formed around like 2008 though so 2008 feshige miha hisaban adavunu ane what are the key milestones that ane EPA has achieved komme soraka
Um, well, EPA existed Korean West 2008 ke like in the form of ERC.
Oh, okay.
Then but EPA ge go to recognize one feshi 2008 from the presidential decree.
Okay.
Then me emme aluganda fahag ever since I joined fahaga kureve emme bodu achievement ka fa kureveni me environmental me ಮಿಸಾಲ ಕಬ್ಬುನ ನಮ್ಮ ತಿಮಾವಿಟ್ಟಲ್ ದಿಬೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲು ಮಗೆ ಬದಲ್ ಮಿ ಹೋದಣಿದತ್ತೋ ಜೂರಿ ಮಣಾಕೋ
yeah
yes that is the main deterrent that we have ane then egota me asu warabbodu achievement egota fahaga koreveni megota juri manako gen ane libun ane lari me funds me utilize me koreveni elibun gellun fu bedduma noniyamu kuda kudan I think you might have also heard the Rasfari restoration project so Rasfari is a protected area and Rasfari ge fara baje mebni
yeah there was a damage there though
yes
Varaboda.
Varaboda damage vegendia and elibunu funds trust funding ufedige mediyai for environmental restoration ge masekke kuruma
Okay.
so a fund use koggen for the first time I think EPA geves lifetime ga furatama fahara megota compensation ne me beenun koggen ekantatta rangalu kuram me
It's put to good use though.
yeah so
And
I think
also it teaches people to be more cautious and careful.
yes kurim veyamun I don't megota mi penalty inka koffa mi juri mana beenun koggen edibe lari beenun koggen megota libe gellunta kuda kuruma masekketake kureve beenu kureve hene so before that we didn't have bunanama proper funding and resources to do something like this mikala projecting hinga ekam miharu EPA adi ehenihan partners ekiga goligen trust fund through ko restoration ge masekke fashage miharu kuriyam mi hama ebagende
EPA has become a bit more sustainable though.
මෙහාරු වර එක මේ අස්ලි උඳගු කමෙද්දෝ like an environmental protection agency එකකුරණි like එක that balance strike කරන්දෝ එහෙන් අනකති කුරාරි like what are some key challenges that you guys has faced
monitoring is quite difficult. Miharu ane dive rajye ga hima ekko fori sarahaddu tawge teri sarahaddu tawes addi havvure gina sarahaddu tan hima ekkoffa. Then ane eggota mi sarahaddu tam monitor koruma mi huri ha kandade. It's kind of a very a huge challenge because me ane EPA ge ane resources belikamaga VSS no ta ane capacity belikamaga VSS vara dati kamaka vani vefa the meharu but we are slowly but surely ane madmadu namas kantata change kureve to algo me masake korani council taka ekiga wes decentralization act through ko ane by color responsibilities share koggen mi sarahaddu ta bele hettumage
So for them to work in support with you, though?
Yes. So Mikahala approach basically we are pushing the idea, the concept of community involvement in environment protection and preservation. And Varabodu and me stewardship nagagging and me kantata me Mikahala like Radiverajiki Timavita Muhimmu Mahalta Rakateri Kurumuga me Hamekani EP and Namaski Kuramiki. They since ane alugonmenge mi iktisod mi bina vani ve sama tima vetta
Everything like tourism and everything at the core of all of it, because everyone comes here to see this beautiful country the way it is.
Thing so mi gota mi masake korumuga ane community involve koggen we have spoda kureveto thing ane we have spoda mi education na like mi sarhadu tage muhimmu kama ekanta conservation ge muhimmu kama mi
Also, I don't think we actually have enough knowledge on those things unless we see something on Twitter. Like we don't really know what these areas are, or like a knowledge and ekkanning as a public karangalugotuga provide kodde
and we are working hama egotang messages delay and relay kodem me public wes they were protected area bunimas by far me hunang hiwani protect koffo egota bavani
No, I don't think it's because EPA and message no deviging, and I think it's that because a lot of people don't really pay a lot of interest to this, and it hasn't been like a public awareness ever and anything. But I do think that the younger generation, they pay a lot more attention to the environment than older generations did.
Yes, I think there's a lot at stake ane bonana ma meharu algon me bodu among ayruga witness kori kantatta nuni amu huri tanta meharu netigen gossa then ane future generation a pass down kurane echa algo me atuga netun then I think kuda kudin nuni amu school ga meule kudin hama fude warakan eti me importance astu me kudinna deve hen alugada givenide I feel like me and me environment protection aslo me manamik kureve evves astu gina me huna me fatwara warangala kannu hen hiwani den hiwani timavish rakkatiri kurume ege maneki taraggiyan ele huraheke ina farattakan hiwani den me
ekam taragge kurana tane no nanu timavish himaya no kosha like
de ega inde deggo vestatta meharu me misalaka me ane bunanama like a concept adi ali kannenge sustainable development ke concept me hunnan eha boda fahum nuani kama ves vedane then ane alugonda hiwani me gasto boda viha ves dialogue is important hang huriha ane me decision making bodies ehe ane ministries key stakeholders get local councils then we sit down cooking
understanding because at the end of the day they are the ones deciding
yes land use plan echi hadairugaves importance the share like me sustainably ane kankure vene gote
ega I think ane me asli haramenge visnu gonna gotum vesekka me eha bodakan environment adete asli no visne do ekka abudus ekka taraggi vedana define vefa me honna gotum ekka tankole boda ekka me construction like concrete visnu mekkanne adi me honna do once we start thinking more about the environment I think ekka a balance strike kurang fase hawane kanne ekka do so I think ekka hama me community empowerment ekka awareness is a very like important thing ekkanne hama going forward as well.
We need to tackle into their emotions as well.
Into our emotions. Into our emotions, yeah.
No, I think there's a gap like people want economic growth for a board and they
Yeah.
don't really think okay in 20 years what will this mikura me project ke side effects like they don't really go there because they probably think okay that's not my problem, my
Yeah.
problem is this.
This,
So
yeah.
yeah, okay, that's a focus issue so when it comes to providing service tibuni monitoring ek kalakanta kuranshe toyembe bodan unda goni.
Well, service provide kurumuga me majorly mi haru ERCing ane me provide kuda main service gotaga afahagave me protected areas and protected species related kantattaw ganaka huddataka thing ane me gota gavattaken hedifave ane environment act ge dashun mi himayek koffa dirun takasha himayek koffa sarhad takka de gavade e gavade ge dashun requirement en eki misalakan himayek koffa sarhad degga evs kahala dirasa e noniyamun mi kurakam gavanyamun hudda hodan jehene EPA ge faratun.
Okay.
So me gota we provide maybe permit applications is innane jadwaluga himana afaga gavadoge. So it's mandatory mikala activity ekure gendanyamum me protected species eggaves eya ediruma ege tobiyata gulun hore eveska dirasa ekkurana manduniyamu hasa hudda enaganche haltawga mi eveska hala mikama gulun hori kam ekkura kam gawanama EPA ge hudda libigenne mikala kantatta kure
So
veni.
miharu kal huddenda ganda miharu in a process aki koba.
Miharu in a process ki application na ekiga mi email ge zariya in submit mi kurani.
Okay.
Then ane then again mi email through ko mi huri ha communications take kure venieves. Then gina fahara mi aslo it's anebunan ma quite challenging for
To manage
challenging
all the
meeting.
emails and
Yeah, to manage and to attend also by far hure Mrs. Vefa. And because that is not the only thing that we do and ERC ke mean like let's say 5 worker staff or bav kantatta ad hoc
Yeah.
ves handle kurane ding hure hem miss vefa sama from ekala error HS asking
human errors are aren't
Yeah.
because it's
yeah
rather manual.
yes then and so me communications taka misalaka bunanama supporting document miswa kamuga wannamum ves anikka ves enagani ituru muddate permit process kurang. So it's a ane bunanama a bit of inconvenience apply kura fanata ves then alugud menna ves ane ituru delay detto annane kamuga.
වර බොඩක් බලඟ වජහද
Exactly.
බොඩු අනේ
Algon me ane me research proposal echisa ves balafa de te
Yeah.
from phone wa hudi ha documents ke balafa ta ane hudda do kuram ves chehene. So
yes
then echis algon me e malumata echi me store me kuran excel sheet egga then
Okay.
huriha like let's say me misalaka me haruge database algon me nani 2018 fishing sorry 2016 fishing mi ada hamaya do ko for huriha eche manually hama enter kuram me jeheni then migotan eburi wara bavaru errors as hedifa
Yeah.
mi kal system e gengulennamo and then emme edevi gemwa gotakan alugon menna mi states hs alugon men beenove aso annual report hs sange kulawa landetta
But it's difficult to gather it
but
from the way.
yeah it is thing the number is alugon men mi jehni manually type kuran like there is no ane
Serialization.
yes ane heng automatic
yeah
automatic
automation
number
අනේ database
yes
වර manual ko maintain kurati aslu jehe
වර අස්සු අනෙහෙබුණ මේ මැනෙජ් කුරම් ෆුද වරකං උඳගු එද we also we discussed hama kongeరకు heye mi kala like automated nuniyamu system en annani fasehalu mi ane mi kantata kurevene kahala then argumenna hamekani annani permit enno then incidences argumenna complaints chives ade eves argumen manually lokkuram mecheni.
yeah varam manual kun e process
Yes.
tani so before we get to the automation part ane varam muhimu suwale vese bote ahara Ameera ane varam honestly what do you think of OneGov honest question
Well, you will also know, I was very excited to be honest. I was delighted.
okay
I couldn't even stay
You
still.
were ready to forget about the Excel sheets.
Yes.
Very ready.
Because, like I told you, the first thing that I did when I joined EPA was chat logs takonna, email through konna, EPA ge website unna, asuri huri ha complaints saying I think goes back to 2018 na hisabun asuri huri ha complaints and manually Excel sheet ang enter kuro every single detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mikala, so the thing is me, it was quite challenging and time consuming, and I was like, oh my god.
And I think you're one
Can
of
I
the
get a-
people who would have realized how incredibly
Yes.
difficult that was because you had to do it.
It was. I spent a lot of time even outside of work also,
Just to get it done.
just to
Yeah.
enter everything. Yeah, to like collectively erung the turn. Algomenna vis fasehawani refer
Yeah.
kurang, and then ane me like section ge masakke vis tankole efficiently ekantatta kuran etta
Fast
kuriya
kundaneda.
chefen ya huriya
First
munkan.
warang important echekkane because like a lot of me ekka me citizens when a fena ekka website kolon kanne Ameera highlight ekoli ekka oneGov workplacing ekkale agencies
Yeah.
takange wa faida ta,
Yeah.
which is a
So,
very important thing.
well, I think me gota services me an automated system tangkol pasaya gota ka both ends and libe kamu gawanyamu and me efficiency improve mane
Yes.
vara bodthano alugonu gabol korani. Then I think and permits achi me handle kurum gaves processing gaves vara bodati fasaya take
It's a
vane.
seamless work and then human errors, the madhuvan,
Madhuvan,
time saving and then plus
yes,
you
I
guys can
can't-
focus on more productive content than aslo.
Yeah.
Feels like a dream come true, to be honest.
That's very high praise.
That
Thank
makes
you.
us very
That's
happy.
very high
Yes.
praise.
I think this has been the right time for OneGov to come and like
Yeah.
get on board with you guys.
Yeah.
And OneGov is going to solve like idekki
Vara bayaru kantatta ekka Ameera.
all of it.
Yeah.
I just hope that like me haradi me mad ane like forward services that me adi one government like one day me I hope in the future EPA ge hama huriha services take one gov ka host kore ven kama.
Our dream as well ekka den ekka me hataru services beanun koggen aslu ekka hataru service on board kuran feshiros ekka service study kon huriha ecche ekka analyze ko breakdown ko ekka me vara bodu processing evade ekan terege so
ane me adifa kolla me haro me gota research echi nuniyamu special permit and naganchi jahal tiggavis ane me gina faharange warak gina confuse me hum kine to hadan jeheni
Oh,
ko
yeah.
email lakatta
How
me
to
phone
start.
jeheni like um, what are the things that I need to
Submit in order to get
yes
this.
then so mikala me questions asade then it becomes kikabunani vara
Varang
chaotic
udaguwane,
and vara
yeah.
hassle vara bodu me gota applicant vesta
Yeah.
vara back and forth inna
Yes.
ne takka nege application in hushada fane karangolu
I think
kodda
OneGov
then-
being hama eti vara
yeah
because
and guidelines ka one gov
Yes.
ka me
Yeah.
har guideline through kong
Exactly.
again and me kiwegen to me document me submit kuran chaheni kong kal documents taketto what do I have to do, all these questions will be also answered. So
hama balala friend on living hori service ko
Yeah.
bakan and when you go to the service you can see
what's required
how, yeah, what's required, the time it will take.
why is it required?
why is it required?
Yeah.
Miki kura so all of that is going to be then. I think that will also be public ang eva kura when now the public will know
No,
more
yeah.
transparent ko okay EPA and living huna hidmeta ki ko bakan or like
Yeah.
so there's an awareness aspect to it as well. That's really great.
so kon hataru service etta mi annani
Oh, adi ERC citing underneath protected areas and protected species ge me research ka ege dashum ves misala ka permit ane alang permit ang apply kuranyamun apply kurevene permit renewal lang apply kurevene permit ang eves kala badaleggenna nyamun apply kurevene. Then ane mide me service me nani ane ERC ge side ding then adi environmental compliance and assessment ge ane side invest ade services samane ki mi hado any EIA related me ane kantatta services
EIAs and
environment impact assessment
Okay.
related me hidmetta
e monitoring assessment එක හැකන්තත් තකා ගොඩ එච්චේ තද්ද project fashion jeheru kuran jehe assessments tadda
Yes, then and me ECA is the section for that EIA related services provide
Okay.
kottani then again with the services I think
Yeah.
goes
I
like
think
funding.
yeah, 4 services altogether though. So protected species research and protected area research, are those services or
We have environmental research and conservation, protected species research, then area
through
research
research are then about vegetation clearance permit
report.
vegetation clearance report so I think those four services for now
Yeah.
then Korean obviously we will get
More,
more
yeah.
services.
Okay,
I
mihar
really
kuda kon
hope.
understand ojekana EPA ge decidung total
Yeah.
4 services yani
Yes,
ido.
EPA
Okay,
has
okay,
two
got it.
sections right now. And so who me service the can apply Kurani kon by like who needs these services the most?
Like misalaka me dirasai kuram beenumwa ane me and misalaka kuram beenumwa researching aslo mi fall money protected species egge me haro ane deverajige him ekofawa dirun tok terega mi meneni ane misalaka vela kahambu noniyamu ane me
Miyaru
huriha
etching besto.
me
So
not
marine biological
well, not we don't have me himaikufa wadirun tagterega huriha etchesenu himene
Oh, okay.
adi me innani raisined skates ke huriha me madige huriha dirun tagaka ane me vela kahambo then duni ane then me har them be whale shark is also a protected
Yeah.
species thing. Migota misal ka mikahala dirumanka. Let's say I want to do a research on sea turtles,
Okay.
and me nuniyamu sea turtle nest monitoring ge monitor kura. Mi haru misalaka kitan nest to aharaku mi sarahadda mi bis alang annani so mikahala research kuram benu wakamuga vanyamu that person requires to apply for the permit protected species research permit taka.
So hema research
that's
carry out
also a
kurani.
permit to hum
Yeah.
permit libonima they can only conduct and do they have to provide you with the findings of the research?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Me haru ane algon me warabbuda encourage kura kamenge ki adi algon me beenum beswe migota migota ane divehirajyege timavashige timavetta mahaultaka golegoto me ane hadadi kura dirasata tawge final outcome nuni findings algon me na share kodan e malumat beenum koggen algon me monitoring itura rangalu kuruma policy level ga ves kantatta rangalu kuruma mi ane masakettake ಕುರೆವಿಗೆನ್ ದಾಣೆ ಇತುರ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡ್ಮೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ನುನಿಯಮು ಅಣೆ ಮೀ ಗೆನ ಜೆ
Improve
ಬದಲ್ತ
kurangeni.
ಯಾ
Yeah.
ಸೊ ಏಕಂದತ್ತ ಮಗ್ಫೈ ವೆಗೆನ್ ದಾಣೆ ಸೊ ವಿ ಅಣೆ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡ್ಮೆಂಗೆ ಎನ್ನಾಣೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಂಗೆ ಹಿಮಣಾಫ ಮೀ ಹುದ್ದ ಲಿಬೆ ಫರಾತಕು ಮೀ ಅಣೆ ದಿರಾಸಾಗೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಹಿಸ್ಸಾ ಕುರಂಜೆಹೆಣೆ ಹಿಸ್ಸಾ ನುಕುರಾಣಮ e permit revokuru noniyamu then evis permit en issue nukurumage ikhtiyari EPA divigawa.
And are these reports published for the public?
Yes, ane alugon menge website on ane
They are all published.
alugon menge website on liben hunnane bara baver malumat adde ane me haru evs mi website ga mi list nukurevi in report evijama nuniyege malumat benwe jiyamu alugmenna contact korim hama liben nege.
Okay, so contact kollan me email ta kollan jehani.
Hama yes e ane EPA ge hotline innane EPA ge ane mi email address you can find website on it so.
Okay, cool.
So I think environment enthusiasts like it's a really good step kind of because now they will be able to apply
Environment enthusiast, what a word.
Yes.
Environment enthusiast.
so now they will be able to apply for permits very easily OneGov through put in the email back and forth.
Hassle free.
Yes,
Hassle-free
hassle
part,
free.
though.
Eliminate vegan dane. I think that with that we've come to the end of this. Like, do you want to add anything else?
Well, I can't think of anything
Okay,
at
I
the
have a very
moment, but
important question.
yes.
Me, so ebuhuri rashuga me vara dosvejji ambuga he like it's 96 years old me haru. Me ambugas protect koran kihinetta mahadanje.
Amugus protect kuranja hama request kure vidane. They ane me beenum veye protect kuran
Okay.
they protect kuran beenum va sababa hori haiche.
Eka, let's say, do you guys do like historic?
Yes, ane ekahala me inde ekahala me haru jamaata kom beenum vege noni community kom beenum vegen protect kurani tree because it has ane cultural significance mika
Yeah.
hada halategga ane protect kurevene then there are ane protected trees keves ಹುಡೆ ಬಾರ ಬಾವರು ಮೀ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟ್ರೀ ಗೊತ್ತ ಕಂಡ ಎಳೆನೆ ಕೊಂಕಾಲ್ ಸಿಫತಕ್ಕೆ ಹುರಿಮ ತೊಯ್ ಹುರಿ ಹಾ
Checklisting a band like it has to.
yeah yes there is thing and there are thing me haro protected area ega hunna huri ha trees taka ki protected hama
Okay.
then me ha vegetation belt ga me hunna ni me misalaka heli fashuga hedi fa me hunna gastaka ki ane
Protected HSA.
protected HSA so
මානේ මේ එක protected species තෙරේගාදි ගස් නොහිමන එද
gas innane walking
වකින් ඕකේ
yes
හැමම
ei gas protected trees me annani dive rajyage ane gas kara himayek kurma fehikan
Okay.
e
I'm
de
learning a lot
be
of
gamadu
new Divehi words. Aslo.
වරක් දස්වෙච්ච
gas kara
But I hope that's happy news for your Ambugas. And how do you know it's 96 years old?
yes how do you know
පාරකවනේ මේ කවුන්සිලින් මේ කොම්මස් වර්ග ස්ටඩිය නැගිදෝ නැගේරු like approximately 96-95 years on because it's ancient hamo
See, they should have submitted that research, right?
well
Study.
yes it could be very important
Yeah.
speaking of which algo me haro protected trees give us in a database
oh හෙන්ද
yes and yeah that's something that can be integrated to OneGov we really want that mihara ene ei protected trees me ade ge me daftare di me EPA en kurin balhatta mangendi miharo ekamako that is I think database akiyani daftare divehi so daftaru miharo ane decentralization act ane through ko miharo ane MSK responsibility minani ane mi council taka
okay
so council takom me jeheni rashuga duwasse for duwaswi gastawge daftare balahattam then they have to do the you know the fill the data sheet that we have sent and kavis excel file ligga mi engole me jeni and
And it's shared with everyone. That's how everyone.
councils tak ado
council takon erashegge mihun diriyule erashegge vejiyamon erashegge council la komme jeni daftar balahattan then e daftar update kuruma fa komme aharigge ane january mahuge tiri huge kuring ejheni EPA submit ko fa EPA me jeni et submit kurang ane mi march mahuge ekegge korea so mikahala me kavadum
Submit kurun.
yes it's like ane it was very chaotic to make this Excel sheet
Get individual sheets and then anika centralized sheet kan horiya chalan.
we ane me huriha ane misalakan egahuge malumat nagane manual length tayyar koffa ma kihinetto e survey kurani then Excel sheet alani kihinetto ko malumat taketto so there's them boda masala vische because misalaka let's say ane Microsoft ge version tafatu edane e council leg hori
Yes, correct.
ඇති maintain kuruma කියලා වරන් හොඳ
exactly so it's quite challenging for councils also and for EPA also me to keep records of this
I think it's a very important pain point ekkanne going forward harama kinatto
Yes.
integrate kolle
Yeah.
venado I think it's a very interesting thing account
yeah
this
so
big Excel sheet
Yeah, there's a potential feature in our service and and I think that's a very exciting one because
yes that would be and
yeah
if you just see a tree that you think should be famous,
should be famous
well OneGov ekiga me ane algome hama EPA ga waragina staff untake ge hope renew vejje de varappada yeah all very excited me and with all anyways like we have started right some
Yes.
of the services and more
Then
to
hama
come in
refine
the
kuruma
future
ado.
hopefully yeah
hopefully it's going to get easier from here and
Yes.
get no more like Excel sheets like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
Yes,
that away from you.
Excel subscription renew kura kannu je
yeah
Thank you for all the information you've given us. I think
Yeah.
it has been very insightful and very helpful and we're very
Varadda
excited
suggest.
for the 4 services and the Kuriyangatanga we hope to have even more services
Yeah.
on board.
Thanks a lot Ameera hama wara ekka me rajyaka miharu EPA ga current process and what you guys do and what you guys are planning to do going forward hama wara bodu ba miharu engijje
thank you so much for inviting me and hearing me out
thank you
And I'm sure we heard them public everything and like more information they did before. So
Yeah.
that's good.
well if
Alright.
any more questions they can just contact us through our hotmail we are ready to answer.
Yes.
Perfect. So thank you everyone for listening. That's it on today's episode. I hope this episode was informative, and just a reminder that if you want to apply for services through OneGov, you have to go to one.gov.mv, and OneGov behe malumat ang hodan you can follow us on social media. And this episode will be available on YouTube and Spotify.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.